We're good. Okay. Ready? Try this again. All right. Finding a nice, comfortable seated position. Use props if you need to elevate your hips so that it's a little bit more comfortable on the hips, on the knees, that sort of thing. So our class today is, well, this whole week has been based on spring. And our class specifically for today is about graceful beginnings. So this week it's been rebirth and planting seeds for the future. Today, being the beginning of spring, we're going to honor transitions and be mindful and present during the first few moments of a new beginning. So I have a bit of a passage here from a book. Sometimes they say if you can't reword it in your own way, in a better way, then just use the original source, right? Beginnings tend to have a sweetness that uplifts us with feelings of grace and ease. Through the gift of embodiment, we as humans get to taste the diverse flavors of life. And among the most precious of these is the celebration of new beginnings. The initial moment of any given situation is one that can set the tone for what will transpire for hours, days, or years to come. With intention and heart, we can welcome these moments and treasure them as gifts to inspire and fuel us at our deepest core. This might take form of a mindful breath, framing a memorable picture, or a pause to acknowledge a new meal before us. By doing something small to honor the commencement of the various episodes of the day, our whole being has a chance to refocus, and the ensuing experiences are received in a much different way. This simple yet profound practice can thus infuse us with a greater sense of ease and vitality as we advance through the moments of our life. All right. So let's start. Let's come down actually onto the earth, onto your back body, if that's comfortable for you. So we're going to bring special awareness to the beginning of our practice and use this transition to move from the events of our day and our week to land fully in the present moment. Noticing the sensation of your breath. Notice the quality. Where is it flowing? Is it catching anywhere? Connecting with your body. Notice any sensations that you feel here. And noticing your mind. What thoughts are there today during the beginning of our practice? Letting go of any thoughts that don't serve you. releasing any tension that you feel in your body. And taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. As we move through our class today, I will offer opportunities to be mindful and honor the transitions in our practice. And we will explore the breath and body in the first few moments of each new section of our class. So taking a few more rounds of breath here. And then pausing, noticing this moment as we transition into movement. Notice your body, your breath, and your mind. Maybe even notice the environment around you. Making some movements in your fingers and toes. Maybe those movements become bigger movements. Whenever you're ready, hugging both knees in towards your chest and maybe rocking here from side to side, or maybe you make circles with your knees. Find movements that feel good for you in your body today. Okay, let's bring the feet down towards the earth. Feet are going to come about mat distance apart. And we're just going to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Take your time. Let the legs drop over. Notice the sensation you feel along that top leg, the front of the thigh. Notice if there's a bit of a stretch. Okay, so we're going to come into a happy baby. So feet will come up towards the sky. Feet are active here, so slightly curling back the toes. Maybe you grab a hold of the backs of the thighs and maybe the lower legs or somewhere on the feet or big toes. Find movements here that feel good for you. All right, 2 more rounds of breath. And then releasing your feet down towards the earth. All right, here's something we haven't done in a little while. So a little bit of movement for the shoulders just to kind of wake them up. So arms come up towards the sky, and then bending at the elbows, hands come to create kind of like a window here with your arms. So grabbing hold of opposite elbows, sorry. And then whenever you're ready, exhale, arms drop over towards one side. Inhale, arms come back to center. And exhale, arms drop over to the other side. And just moving with your own breath. See what your head wants to do. What do your knees want to do? Do they want to go in the same direction, opposite direction? All right, so going one more time in each direction. The dog had enough yoga for today. And then arms come back to center, placing your arms on the earth. Just notice the difference from one side to the other. Maybe there is a difference, maybe there isn't. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. Arms reach up towards the sky. Cross and grab a hold of the elbows. This time, change the cross of your arms so whichever one is in front becomes the one that's behind. And same thing as before. Exhale, arms drop to one side. Inhale, arms come back to center. And notice if maybe you feel the sensation along the back of the other shoulder this time. So one more time in each direction. Then releasing your arms down towards the earth. All right, so from here, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh and activate the right foot. Eye of the needle. Let's try to remember what it was called. So we're going to draw the legs closer towards us. Right foot stays active if that's comfortable. If not, keep the feet on the floor or the left foot on the floor. So the legs come closer, grabbing a hold of the left leg somewhere. Maybe it's the pant leg, back of the thigh, around the shin. And be nice and gentle, still early in our practice. If your left foot is still on the floor and you wish for a little bit of a stretch, maybe you take your right hand and push your right thigh away from you. And notice, do you want a little bit of movement here? Just keep the feet active. Or maybe being still feels really good in this pose. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. All right, so for those of you who have your left foot on the earth, taking the right foot off of that thigh and allow the right foot to come down to the earth, right leg is extended long. All right, for those of you who are in thread the needle, legs are up off the earth. Let's extend the left leg long up towards the sky. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Your leg that's extended, depending on what variation you came into, you'd be on a different leg. That leg is going to move up and down. We're going to do a little bit of core work. So you're going to release your leg if you have a hold of it, and then slowly allow that leg to come down towards the earth. Those of you who are on the other side will catch up with us in a second. And then your leg that's extended long, everybody inhale, bring the leg up towards the sky. Nice and slow, exhale, gently lower. So for some of you, it will look like left foot on the floor, right foot comes up towards the sky. So take your time moving through this. Sometimes there's a little discomfort in the low back. I like to place my hands underneath my hips while doing this. A few more leg lifts here. If that right knee is crossed over the thigh, keep it active. Has anybody been counting? I haven't been counting. Let's do, I don't know, 2 more. Take your time. Once those 2 are complete for you, placing both feet on the earth, knees are bent. Taking your hands out from under you if they're there. Thread the needle on the other side. Feet are on the earth. Left ankle crosses over right thigh, activate the left foot. Again, maybe the right foot stays on the floor, on the earth, and you just push the left thigh away, or perhaps you draw the legs closer to you. Again, do you want to find stillness here or movement? Your practice, not mine. What feels good for you? Soften your shoulders and soften your jaw. All right, if your right foot is on the floor, extend the left leg long on the earth. If you're in eye of the needle, extending the right leg up towards the sky, activating the feet. Release your legs slowly, bring that right leg down towards the earth. And then all of us, leg is on the earth. Reach that leg up towards the sky, nice and slow. And exhale, lower. See if when you lower, if maybe you can just hover the foot off of the earth. And take your time. So the more we rush through this, the more we're using momentum rather than the muscles in our body to move the leg. It's not a race. All right, so a little more. Do you know how I count? It's when my body goes, okay, we're getting close to enough. All right, 2 more. Once that's complete for you, both feet come to the earth, knees are bent. And if you wish, windshield wipering the knees from side to side, releasing any tension in the low back. All right, we're going to transition to seated. So notice as you roll over to one side and come up to seated, just notice what's happening in your body, your mind, anything else. So rolling over to one side. Take your time. Slowly coming up to seated, any comfortable seated position for you. And we're going to take a moment to lower or close the eyes. land fully in this moment, in the commencement of our seated portion of our practice. And if you wish, maybe saying to yourself, I embrace the graceful beginnings I encounter along my path. I embrace the graceful beginnings I encounter along my path. All right, opening your eyes. Let's find some movements with the arms. So arms come out towards the side, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky, shoulders relax down. Exhale, arms come down by your sides. And do this a couple more times. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, arms come down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms down. This time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Clasp the fingers. Allow the palms to face out, round the spine. Extend the arms long. Continue breathing. On your next inhale, arms reach up towards the sky, shoulders relax. Exhale, arms come over towards one side. Inhale to center and exhale over to the other side. Inhaling to center and exhale, releasing your hands down by your side. Okay, we're going to find a gentle twist. So let's bring left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale to lengthen your spine and exhale to turn. So we're not going too deep at the beginning of our practice, just enough to kind of wake up the spine a little bit. On your next inhale, lengthening your spine and exhale, coming back to center. And we'll make our way over to the other side. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to turn. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to come back to center. Okay, we're going to transition into our next part. So coming into tabletop, wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Feel free to use a blanket if you need to, or maybe another mat laying across your first mat for protection in your knees. Okay, tabletop, wrists under shoulders, gripping the fingers into the earth. Draw the navel in and try not to collapse in on your arms. We want to push away from the earth. Take a few moments in this first pose to notice where you have landed. Notice your breath. Notice your body. All right, and then let's come into child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart, arms come out long. Melting the heart down towards the earth. If your head doesn't come all the way to the earth, maybe you grab a block or two stacked fists to place underneath your forehead. Taking deep inhales. Long, slow exhales. Gently making your way back into your tabletop pose. What movements does your body need here? Maybe you find some circles in your hips. Maybe it's cat-cow. Maybe it's just random shapes in your body. So listen in and honor what your body needs today. Right, coming back to our tabletop, and then bringing the right foot forward between the hands. Right knee's over the ankle in line with the second or third toe. If you need to find blocks here to bring the earth up closer to you, feel free to do so. So blocks under the hands. Find length in your spine. Draw the belly button in, crown of the head reaches towards the front of the mat. As long as of a stance as you need, so there's a little bit of a stretch along the front of the left thigh. Trying not to collapse in on the right leg. Squeeze the inner thighs. Notice how different it feels activating everything. And when we first came into it, we were just kind of like, okay, place the foot forward. All right, continue squeezing the inner thigh. Let's bring the arms up towards the sky. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Finding a slight tuck of your tailbone. All right, let's find a little bit of a back bend if it's comfortable for you. Let's find cactus arms. And then imagine a string drawing your heart up towards the sky. Inhale, arms reach back up. Exhale, we're going to draw the navel in, hinge forward from the hips. Arms still reaching forward. One more round of breath here. And then exhale, hands come down to the earth. Let's find a half splits. So walking your hands or your blocks back, extending the right leg long, activate the right foot. If you come back and this feels like it's way too much, feel free to bring your hands to your thighs or your right thigh. All right, inhale to lengthen your spine. Curl back the toes of the right foot. Exhale, fold forward, hinge from the hips. Only go as far as it feels good. Slowly walking your hands forward. Let's come back into our tabletop pose. And actually, we're going to extend that right leg long behind us. Curl the toes under on the earth and find a bit of a rocking motion here. Or maybe you hang out in the stretch, feel a stretch along your right calf. All right, let's bring the right foot over, cross it over to the left side. And then looking over your left shoulder towards that foot. Find length here along the right side. So it's almost like you're popping the right side of your rib cage out. All right, gently coming back to tabletop. And all of that on the other side. Left foot steps through. Excuse me. Knee over ankle. Grab blocks if you need to. Squeeze the inner thighs, draw the navel in, crown of the head reaches forward. Trying not to collapse in on the left leg. So a nice active low lunge. Using lots of muscles here to keep us upright. All right, continue squeezing the inner thighs, arms reach up towards the sky. Shoulders relax. Maybe you send the tailbone down towards the earth. So slight tuck of the tailbone. If you wish, finding a back bend, finding cactus arms, draw the heart up towards the sky. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge forward from the waist. Lengthen your spine, reach forward. You can always bring the hands back down to the earth or your blocks if you need to. All right, hands come down. We're gonna find our half splits, walking your hands or blocks back. Extend the left leg, curl back the toes. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hinging from the hips, folding forward. Let's walk the hands or blocks forward, back into that lunge. Come into tabletop. And then left foot comes back. Curl the toes under, find a rocking movement or a stretch. Left foot crosses over towards the right side. Look over the right shoulder. Send the left side of the rib cage out to the side. And come back to your tabletop. So transitioning here. Next part of our practice into standing. Curling the toes under, sending the hips up and back behind you, downward dog, or maybe you come into dolphin or child's pose. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Take a couple of breaths here. Check in with your body, your mind, and your heart, honoring this beginning of this part of our practice. I make space for opening rituals that help me thrive. I make space for opening rituals that help me thrive. Okay. In your own way, making your way up towards the top of your mat into a forward fold. As much of a bend in your knees as you need so there's no discomfort in the backs of your thighs, in your low back. All right. On your next inhale, arms come out towards the sky with a flat back, reverse swan dive up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands come to heart center. All right, so feet are hip distance apart. Find equal weight along the four corners of your feet. Squeeze the inner thigh, shoulders roll back and down, crown of the head reaches high, mountain pose. All right, inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, flat back, slight bend in the knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins or thighs. Exhale to fold. So we're gonna find a little bit of movement here. Grab a block if you need one to bring the earth up closer to your hand. So we're going to bring the right hand to the block or the earth. I just have to figure this one out. Bend into the right knee. So deeper bend into the right knee. Left arm reaches out and up towards the sky. Left hand comes down towards the earth or the block. Bend into the left knee. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Right hand comes down towards the block or the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, draw the navel in, crown of the spine reaches forward. Find equal weight in the four corners of your feet. You might feel like you're about to tip forward. You're not. Okay. Exhale, forward fold. Let's take a big step back here with the right foot. So your choice, knee can come down or stay up. Right hand stays on the earth, or maybe it finds a block. Draw the navel in, squeeze the inner thighs. Left arm comes up by your ear to reach forward. So kind of similar to what we did earlier, just slightly different variation. Okay, left hand comes back down to the earth. If you haven't already, drop the right knee down. So a horizon lunge, we're gonna walk the left foot over towards the left side, point the toes out towards the left side. We're going to come up on the back toes and then shift over towards the pinky toe side of that right foot. Left arm reaches up and back behind you. You may find a bit of a stretch by allowing the hips to sink down towards the earth. Let's come back into tabletop here. All right, so either child pose or downward dog. In your own way, let's come up into a forward fold at the top of your mat, sorry. You knew what I meant. All right, inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head reaches forward, find the four corners of your feet, draw the navel in. Exhale, forward fold. This time we take a big step back with that left foot. Either toes are curled under or left knee to the earth. Left hand stays on the earth or on a block. Reach the right arm forward. Draw the navel in. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. Check that front knee is over the ankle in line with the second or third toe. All right, right hand comes to the earth. Let's drop the back knee if it isn't already there. Walk the right foot over towards the right side, toes point out towards the right. We're gonna shift our hand into the left hand. Extend the left leg long, come up onto the baby toe side of that foot. If you need to, knee can stay on the earth. All right, right arm reaches up and back behind you. Maybe you stay up high, a little more active, or maybe you start to sink the left hip down towards the earth. Let's come back into tabletop pose. We're going to come up to standing. So however it feels comfortable for you, maybe it's downward dog first, coming into forward fold. And on your next inhale, arms come out to the side, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. All right, so we're going to move into a balancing portion of our class. Take a moment to be with the transition, and to notice the beginning of this part of our practice. I meet the initial moments of each day with delight. I meet the initial moments of each day with delight. All right, opening your eyes, find your mountain pose. So you're gonna have a couple options here for this one. I'll turn. So either you're going to stay with hugging your knee or you're gonna find a different variation. So here's what we'll do. Mountain pose, shift your weight into your left foot. Slight micro bend in the left knee. Allow the right foot to come up off the earth. Activate that right foot. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you hug the knee in, stand nice and tall. Let's keep the right foot active. So if it's in your body, maybe you grab a hold of the toe with your peace fingers, big toe of the right foot. Maybe you start to extend that right leg long. Maybe the left arm comes out to the side to help you balance. You can, if you're holding that knee, just hold on with the right hand, left hand comes out to the side for balance. So right hand stays on your knee or foot. And if you wish, allow that right leg to come out towards the side. Coming back to center. Gently release the right foot down towards the earth. Maybe you shake out your legs. All right, other side, mountain pose, shifting your weight into your right foot. Slight micro bend in the right knee, lift the left. Maybe you hug the knee in, activate the left foot. All right, so you find your variation on this side. Find a place to focus on that isn't moving. I like to see what everybody's doing and then I lose my balance. All right, so maybe left hand stays on the left leg somewhere, extending that left leg out towards the side. Slowly coming back to center. And then releasing the foot to the earth, shake out your legs. Okay, let's find our mountain at the top of our mat. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Let's take a big step back with the left foot. We're going to bring it so that we can set up for warrior two. Left foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Front heel intersects with the middle of the back foot. Let's windmill the arms up to warrior two. And then we're going to find a little bit of a switch here. So something we've been playing with some of our earlier classes in the week. We're going to shift over to a lunge or a squat, side squat on the left side. You're going to straighten that front leg and then pivot over towards the left side. Come back to center and over towards the right side. Send the hips back. All right, we're going to keep moving here, just a little bit of movement. And then I invite you, if it's in your practice, when you come back over to the left side, come down into your variation of a squat and hang out here for a little bit. So whether you're high or you're low, if you're low, make sure to activate the right foot. And then see if you can find balance. Maybe hands come to heart center. Maybe you're just hanging out in the squat. Maybe you're still moving. Honor your body. All right, let's make our way over towards the other side. So if you're down low, maybe walk the hands over. Side squat, or yeah, side squat on the right side. It's called so many different things. I never know what to call it. Finding 2 more rounds of breath. And then we're going to make our way back to center. Feet are parallel to the short edge of the mat and into a wide-legged forward fold. So if you need to, find blocks to bring the earth up closer to you. Or maybe you find another variation where your hands are on your legs somewhere. All right, so a fun little transition that we played with in the class earlier this week. If you're like, I'm not doing that, just feel free to come to seated, and we're going to make our way into a boat pose from here. All right, so halfway lift, hands come to the earth or your blocks. Extend the spine long. Shift the weight into your left hand. Turn the toes of your right foot towards the front of your mat. And you're going to pick up the left foot, cross it underneath you, and send it towards the front of your mat and slowly sit down. Then we're all going to make our way into a boat pose, whatever variation feels good for you. Maybe hands are on the earth, maybe just one foot's up. Lots of variations here that you can find. Find one that's a little challenging. Sitting up nice and tall. Squeeze the inner thighs. All right, we're going to come back into our tabletop pose. So maybe you cross at the ankles, come forward, tabletop. All right, let's find a few cat cows. Round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, and then move in the opposite direction. Just a little break for that low back. Okay, so we're going to come to the front of our mat into a forward fold. So maybe you move through downward dog first, and then walk, step, or hop your feet forward. Exhale, release. And on your next inhale, reverse swan dive up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Right foot takes a big step back behind you, set up for warrior two. Windmill the arms up. And then we're going to find, let's actually come to center and turn the toes so that they're pointing out towards the top corners of the mat. We'll find a goddess pose here, and then a variation on the goddess pose. So we're going to bend into the knees, send the tailbone down rather than back. So we want a slight tuck of the tailbone. Knees are over the ankles in line with the second or third toe. Let's find cactus arms here. Maybe you sink your hips a little further. All right, so we're gonna find kind of like side angle arms. Right forearm comes down to the right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Try not to collapse in on that right arm. Sink the hips lower. Inhale back to center and exhale over to the other side. Let's go one more time in each direction. Inhale to center and exhaled over. Inhale center, keep the hips low, exhale over. Inhale to center, straighten the legs, drop the arms, pivot the feet, and let's find a little bit of a back bend here. So maybe fingers point down towards the earth, maybe they're behind your low back, or maybe you clasp your hands behind you, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Okay, so send the tailbone back down and then open the heart up towards the sky. So maybe your hands stay clasped or you release the hands if they're at your low back, and we'll find a forward fold. So lengthening the spine, hinging from the hips, forward fold. If your hands are behind you, maybe you send them up towards the sky. All right, if your hands are up towards the sky, bend the elbows, release the hands. Let's find a halfway lift. We're making our way into a boat pose, so follow me or come to seated. Know that the first time I did this, I fell. So you're shifting your weight into your right hand. Slight micro bend in that right knee. Turn the toes of the left foot forward and then start to shift that right foot under and through. Sit down onto the earth. Find your boat pose, your variation, sitting up nice and tall. Find your breath. All right, let's drop the feet. We're going to transition into the next part of our class, which is kind of the end, I guess you can say. A few stretches here while we are on the earth. Okay, so listen to your body in this one. I'm going to give you a couple of options. So if you have knee issues, you're going to bring the left foot in, knees out towards the side. Feel free to grab a block if you need to place underneath that knee. Right leg is out in front. If you don't have knee issues, you're going to find a half hero pose. So tuck that left foot under. All right, we're going to find a forward fold wherever you are. So activating the right foot, inhale to lengthen, exhale, hinging from the hips. Notice your breath. Notice the beginning of this part of our practice. Be present in this moment, in this pose. All right, walking your hands back up. Sorry, that sounded like a command. It wasn't a command. Okay, so depending on where you are, maybe this left leg stays back behind you. Maybe this left foot comes in. So next variation of this pose, we're going to draw the right foot in. Activate the right foot. Grab a hold of the right foot underneath. You're gonna do just as far as you comfortably can. You're gonna pick up that right foot, start to extend it long. Maybe it comes up towards the sky. Draw your navel in, sit up nice and tall, bring the leg close towards you. If that left leg is out, be very mindful as you move through this. Let's see. All right. Heron pose, I believe. So you may not extend the leg long, totally fine. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's gently release that right foot to the earth. If the leg is tucked under you, be mindful, roll over to one side to take that left leg out. So we're all gonna bring left leg out, maybe shake both legs out. All right, so other side, either right foot to the inside of the left leg or draw that right foot back behind you. Know that each side could be a little bit different. So activating the left foot, inhale to lengthen and exhale, forward fold. And gently walking your hands back to come back up to seated. All right, so again, your variation, you can stay here. If you want, you can untuck it. I think I have to on this side. Listen to your body. Okay, so let's draw the left foot in. Grab a hold of the bottom of the left foot. Shoulders relax. Start to pick up the foot. Maybe you extend it up. Maybe this is as far as you go. It doesn't matter. Find length in your spine. And we want to draw that leg, if it's extended long, we want to draw it in towards us. One more round of breath. Keep the left foot active, gently bring it down towards the earth. If that right leg is tucked under you, gently roll over, release. We're all gonna release our legs, give them a good shake. All right, and then let's come down to the earth, onto your back body. Feel like we need a back bend. So we're gonna find bridge pose. And then if it's in your practice, if you have done it before with another teacher and you're comfortable do it, you can transition into wheel. If you haven't done wheel before, this is probably not a good time to try because I'm not there with you to spot you or to make sure you're okay. All right, so bridge pose, feet are on the earth. Push the feet into the earth, lift the hips, squeeze the inner thighs. Sorry, we want to make sure the feet are hip distance apart and the knees stay hip distance apart. So maybe in this variation of the bridge pose, we'll bring our hands to the outsides, the long edge of the mat. Clasp the mat. You're going to imagine that you're trying to rip the mat in half. So pull out towards the sides. Notice your hips start to lift, push into the feet, active feet here. Exhale, let's release slowly, come down towards the earth. If you feel discomfort in your low back, feel free to bring the feet wide on the mat and windshield wiper the knees. Whenever you feel ready, we're going to come back into a bridge, or if you want to, find a wheel. So I'm just going to cue bridge here. Bridge, feet hip distance apart, close to your sits bones. This time, we're not going to grab the side of the mat unless you want to. Push the feet into the earth, lift the hips, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes. So grab the side of the mat if you want to, or if it's in your body, rolling your shoulders underneath you. Clasp your hands. Send the hips up a little higher. Push your feet into the earth. So nice and active here in the legs. Notice your breath. Notice your body. And notice your mind. Two more rounds of breath wherever you are. If you're in wheel, just a gentle reminder, tuck your chin in before you come down. And we're all going to slowly come down. So bridge pose, untuck, unroll the shoulders, come down nice and slow. Feet come wide on the mat. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Okay, we're gonna find a twist. So you can follow me, or you can find any variation that feels comfortable for you. Feet come close together, reposition the back flat on the earth, arms come out to the side, palms face up towards the sky. So maybe you cross the right knee over the left. And then which way does it feel better for your legs to drop over? A lot of people like it to the left. I actually prefer it to the right. So knees drop over to the side and then look over towards the opposite side from your knees. Softening the shoulders. Connect with your breath. Allow your knees to come back to center. And cross your legs. Bring your back flat to the earth. And then left knee over ankle or whatever feels good for you. And then drop the knees to the opposite side. Look over the opposite shoulder if it feels good. Notice if you're holding any tension in your shoulders. Relax and soften. Maybe give them a little wiggle. Are you holding tension in your hips? Release any gripping in the hips, the legs, allowing the knees to fall. Maybe finding a bit of a deeper stretch here. Softening your body into the earth. Gently allowing your legs to come back to center and uncross the legs. Reposition the back flat on the earth. All right, transition into our final pose. Shavasana or any other resting pose that feels good for you on the earth. Take your time. Honor the transition. Be mindful. Once you find a comfortable place on the earth, take a moment to check in, be present, noticing your breath. Perhaps you slow down your breath, taking deeper inhales, longer, slower exhales. Softening your jaw, your forehead, around your eyes. Relax the shoulders and the hips. And then perhaps imagine savoring the first few moments of a beautiful sunrise. The subtle light intensifying and slowly becoming brighter as the day reveals itself. So as a quick Shavasana, sorry, making some small movements in your fingers and toes. Perhaps those small movements become bigger movements. And transitioning from the earth up to seated. Once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. So I invite you to hold one word or quality in your mind's eye to make a graceful beginning for the new segment of your day, or the next segment of your day. I honor all the yogis who came from India and all the teachers who have come before us, who brought us this beautiful practice of yoga, of freedom. I honor all of you for being here today, for practicing and just showing up, which is the most important part of our practice. May the next segment of your day be filled with peace, love, and kindness. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day.